Hi there, it's Carrie from Stamp with CT. It's time for our Facebook Live. It is Wednesday, August 17th. I may be a minute or so late. I apologize if I am. And I know it takes just a minute for Facebook to send out notifications. So if you are watching this part of the video, you are probably on the replay crew. So just want to give you a little shout out. I'm so glad you're here. So glad you stopped by. I hope you'll say hello. Let me know where you're watching from, how you're doing. And if you're watching over on YouTube, I hope that you will hit the subscribe button. Would love to have you part of that community. Good morning. It is Facebook Live time. It's Wednesday the 17th of August. Goodness. Wow. So I have already had a busy day. Good morning, Judy. Thanks for saying hello and good morning. So if you're here live, I hope you will pop in a comment. Just tell us how you're doing. Weather report. You know I always do the weather report. Hi, Donna. And it is hot here in Texas. Now, we are expecting rain this week, and we really, really need that rain. So hope and pray that that comes through for us. We are going to get busy crafting this morning. My phone has been ringing like crazy. Right before I went live, of course, I got the call about my car warranty. Oh my goodness. They trick me every time by making it a local number and I answer the phone. Y'all ever do that? So we are going to do some crafting. Oliver is here with me in the craft room. If you're new to my channel, Oliver is my 2-year-old Cocker Spaniel, and he is a crafting boy. He loves to be with me in the craft room. And it's really nice to have a little companion in here. I spend a lot of time crafting and stamping. And if I'm not crafting and stamping, it seems like I think about crafting and stamping, and sometimes that's when I really should be asleep. So the idea for today's video came to me a couple nights ago when I should have been asleep. I got to thinking about the gorgeous Painted Christmas Designer Series paper. I think I had seen a project somewhere online, and this paper, it is in the catalog. Let me look here. Page 29 of the mini catalog. Now, it is a little bitty picture. It's not really prominent in the catalog, and part of the reason for that is that this was paper that carried over from last year. So most of the time at the end of a catalog, a lot of the products are retired. But Stampin' Up! Did carry over many of the items from this suite. So there were 2 stamp sets and die sets that carried over. I know the embellishments. I don't think the ribbon did. But this paper is really, really pretty. And I remember that I had a little bit tucked away. I didn't have a lot left from last year, but I had some tucked away. And I did include this in our paper share this year. So this is the gorgeous Painted Christmas Designer Series paper. Some of you may very well have some of this in your stash. It's very pretty. It's got Pear Pizzazz, Garden Green, Real Red, and Cherry Cobbler, which that's always interesting when there's a couple of reds like that. And then there's a couple browns as well. There's some with the pine cones. I think you probably saw those patterns. I'm not using that today. I really have just a very small amount of this paper left, but I thought, let's create some projects with it. And we're actually going to make 6 cards today. They're very straightforward. And the main thing I wanted to talk to you about, it's been a while since we discussed this, is matting and what a difference that can make with our cards. So I'm hoping that through the video, this shows up as much as it does in person. I think it will. And then I'm also pulling in the Christmas to Remember stamp set. It's a red rubber stamp set. It has 9 stamps in it, and they're all sentiments. So sometimes it's nice to have a set like that that doesn't have any images, just sentiments that we can use. And I love the font on this set. And then it's just a variety of sentiments that we can use for Christmas cards. So again, it's on page 29. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to pull in a few supplies. The first thing that I have is some thick, basic white cardstock that we're going to use for our card bases. Now, I don't traditionally or usually do top folding cards, but I know a lot of you do, so sometimes I like to kind of mix it up. So these card bases are all the thick basic white. So we have a basic white cardstock, and then the thick basic white is great for card bases. It's got a little bit more substance to it than our regular basic white. And that way, as you add layers to the front, the card still feels substantial. So these are 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. We just burnished that fold right quick. And then we're going to pull in some other supplies. So this is one of the pieces of the designer series paper, and I think I'm actually going to orient these cards this way. So you could certainly put this on the card base, and I went ahead and stamped my sentiments ahead of time. Since we're making so many cards today, I wanted to try to keep this video still to about 30 minutes. That's usually my goal. So we could always just pop a sentiment on. Easy peasy. Looks pretty. But let's talk a little bit about if we use some of the cardstock. One of the great things about Stampin' Up, and y'all know this, is that our products coordinate. So our cardstock goes with the designer series paper. If you find a color in the designer series paper, then you're going to be able to find cardstock, ribbon, embellishments, ink, markers. It's just awesome because it really makes your crafting so much easier. And remember, on the back of your designer series paper package, and then also in the catalog, it tells you what colors are in the designer series paper. So that's exactly how I pull in mats to put behind our designer series paper. So I thought I'd show you here. This is Pear Pizzazz, which is one of the greens. And so, you know, we've got the paper just on the card base, but when you add that layer of Pear Pizzazz, I think it really brings out a lot more from the designer series paper. And then I went ahead of time and I matted a piece of paper on the Real Red cardstock. So we'll see if you can tell any difference between that. And then I also grabbed a piece of Garden Green cardstock. So all of those mats, I think it just really makes a different look for the card. Another thing you can do if you wanted to, and I'll flip this over so you can see, sometimes we like to double mat and just really pull in a lot of the colors that's in the designer series paper. So that would even give it a different look on your card front. So that's what we're talking about today. It's something simple, but it can really make a big difference, I think, in our projects. And again, I hope that that shows up through video. I know we did this, it's been a couple years ago. We did this in a class, I think it was a stamp camp. And I just included all of the cardstock in the class packet that was the colors that were in the designer series paper. And they got to choose their mats and their card bases, the people that participated in the class. And I just remember, you know, that was just a really good tip to give, and people enjoyed that. So that's what I was thinking about the other night. Now, even though this designer series paper returned to our catalog, there's a new ribbon combo pack, and it actually has the Real Red and Garden Green ribbon. So I thought it would be fun to use those colors to add a little bit of an embellishment. Well, I can't get my fingers to work. Let's go ahead and adhere this down. You know, the other option that we have too is changing the borders of our designer series paper, the matting that we use. I typically cut each layer 1/4 of an inch smaller, so that gives about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, but you could also cut it smaller or larger. That just gives you a different look, which is a lot of fun. I'm gonna grab some Stampin' Seal Plus right quick, because I think on this card, I'm just going to add a bit of ribbon across here. And even though these cards are going to be similar, we talked a couple weeks ago about how we can make cards unique for the different people that we're sending them to, and I think that's what we're going to do here. I may have cut that a little bit too short. I probably did, but we're going to make it work. Okay. So we'll just assemble right quick. I've got a lot of stuff on my desk, don't I? I hope y'all are having a good week. It's been pretty busy around our house. School started back. So Dale is teaching geometry this year. And he has had a really great, basically first week of school, because the students came back, last Thursday, I think. So he's had a really great first week, which I'm glad. That makes life easier for all of us. And he got to see some students that he had last year, and that made him happy. I think we're just going to pop this little sentiment on like this. So that will do one for us. And then this one, I wrapped it around. And I like to use that little cheater method and tape that ribbon on. It conserves ribbon a little bit. And I find that tying a separate bow really helps me out. My arthritic fingers have trouble sometimes tying bows, so doing it that way, I can make my bow line up the way I want to. Also wanted to share this little tip with you. I have a roll of glue dots, and you can see I've got several bows that I tied ahead of time. I knew this was going to be just a little bit longer video, just with what we were doing today, so I went ahead and tied them ahead of time. When I am making multiples of cards, let me put that back on there for a second. A lot of times I will do that. I'll go ahead and tie a bunch of bows, and I will put them on a strip of glue dots so that they are ready. So I'll just kind of do that process, because I feel like when you repeat the same step in the process of card making, you're a little bit more efficient. So, but your hands can get tired of tying bows, right? So let's see. I'm going to move this over this way this time. Just that sweet little Merry Christmas strip sentiment. And then we will pull one of our little bows that I made ahead of time and add it right there. Maybe down just a little bit. And we've got a nice Christmas card there. And we'll go back and we'll put a little bit of embellishments here in a minute. Let's go ahead and do this red one that same way. I just have a little bit of this red and green ribbon left. Along with paper share, we also do ribbon share. And this time I actually got to be part of the ribbon share, so I got a little bit of ribbon too. So we do that with each new catalog. We have the paper and ribbon share. So I hope that if you participated in that and you're making some projects with that beautiful paper and ribbon, I hope you'll share them with us. And I hope you're using your paper. Okay, let's see. Somewhere I have another sentiment that I stamped. Or I may, no, I do have another red one. We'll add that with some dimensionals. And I know I saw Donna on here this morning, so I'm going to cut my dimensionals, Donna. We'll cut those bones. And we'll use this little strip. Oops. We'll use this little strip. That's probably still a lot of dimensionals, but we'll put this on the back of this one. And that should make it work really well. So don't forget to use those little pieces around the edges of your dimensionals. And this one, I may not even add a bow. I don't know. It doesn't look very straight to me. Yeah, I may not. May just put the little sentiment on. And then I do, of course, have some embellishments that we'll add. Looks pretty. And so there we will have card number 3 using this designer series paper. And as you can see, I think adding the ribbon in different ways, stamping the ink in different colors, it gives you a little bit different look even though you're using the very same paper. So let's set these aside. And then I've got some colored card bases this time. So again, we can kind of use this as part of our matting system. So again, Pear Pizzazz did the top folding for those of you that like to do that. Got to mix it up every once in a while. And Garden Green. And then this one is Real Red. So of course we'll have a little border. After we add the mat of cardstock, we'll have a little border. Make sure that I have them the right side up. I don't want to put anything together upside down. Although, even though I've been a crafter for a long time, that still happens from time to time. So then here, what's fun is we can actually see how we can mix and match. And again, bring in that piece of designer series paper. So this really is kind of that double mat that we were talking about. Just cut the designer series paper a little bit smaller. So here again, if we bring that tighter to the top, you can see what happens when you have a much smaller mat there. And then when you kind of go back to that usual border, just the look that you get. So again, just looking at how you can utilize the colors. And here I wanted to talk a little bit about this one. Has the Pear Pizzazz on top of the Real Red. And here we'll put the Real Red on top of the Pear Pizzazz. I'll grab that piece of designer series paper. And I'll see what you think. Oops, we'll get that garden green out of the way. It just gives it a different look, and to me, it pulls the berries or the leaves differently from the designer series paper. Just kind of fools your eye, doesn't it? So let's work on putting these cards together now. Grab my liquid glue. And I know a lot of you have been crafting for a really long time, but recently I've talked with some brand new stampers. And so I think that's what gets my mind kind of spinning sometimes, is that they see things differently than what we do. Oops, I do want to mix these up a little bit, don't I? Let's go ahead and put, I don't want green on green, so we'll do it that way. But it really does bring me back to when I first started crafting, when I talked to brand new stampers like that. We take a lot for granted and we just learn along the way, and we kind of develop our style, and we do things repetitively. We just do things the way that we've done them. So talking with someone who's never stamped or a brand new stamper, it just helps remind me what it was like when I started. And I know that I got kind of overwhelmed with all the different options and all the different products from the different companies. And I know there's so many awesome crafting companies. But it seemed like when I found Stampin' Up, it was just so awesome because I was able to spend a lot more time crafting instead of trying to figure everything out. You know, I wanted things to coordinate, and just finding Stampin' Up and the products that they offer and the way that everything works together, it takes the work out of crafting. We have lots of amazing artists and concept artists that work at Stampin' Up, and I love that they do all of that for us. And we can just spend our time being, you know, stamping rock stars that we are, because we get to use the beautiful products and not have to worry if it goes together, because we already know it does. May even turn that one this way, just the way that paper is. We'll see. Okay. So again, I just think that makes that paper, it's just different with the different colors. Y'all let me know what you think. And then I went ahead and stamped some sentiments ahead of time again, and just used one of the sentiments from that set. May this be a Christmas to remember and cherish. And I think we'll just kind of mix and match here and add those with dimensionals. If I can find what I did with my dimensionals. I don't know how I make such a mess, y'all, but I do. You know, I asked the other day when people start making Christmas cards, and I got lots of fun answers. I've already been making Christmas cards now for a couple months. And we will pull in one of our cute little bows to decorate this one. That red and green ribbon, it's really pretty. Great to work with. Super easy to tie bows with. Some days are better than others with my fingers wanting to work, but I just find that some of the ribbons are super easy to work with, and that is one of them. Okay, I'm trying to remember which one I thought I would orient this other way. Maybe this one. I'm just popping those sentiments on. Just don't really think you can go wrong. And then I've got, I think we'll use a green bow for this one. And I think for this one, I'll put it right up here. Those pretty bows. And then one more sentiment. I hope you'll stick around for just a minute. We have lots of happy mail to share this week. I always love sharing what we get in the mail, those ideas with you, and also kind of giving a shout out to those who have sent me or Dale a card. Dale's birthday was Sunday, so he did receive several cards. We sure do appreciate that. Made him feel so special. Alrighty. And one more little bow. I'll have to make up some more bows. I think I'll put this one down at the bottom. So there we have those 3 cards made with that designer series paper. And then of course I grabbed my absolute favorite embellishment, which is the iridescent rhinestones, because we can always pop on a little bit of bling, right? I'm trying to decide where I want to add it. Maybe over here on the paper itself. Just in a couple of those places that there's not a lot going on with the pattern. And let's see on this one. I might just add it right up here, just to give a little bit of shimmer. And we'll add at least one to this card. And then let's go back and add a little bit of embellishments to these as well. That just is the finishing touch. We can always add a little bit of bling, right? Oops, that one came off. There we go. I just love this paper. It makes me so happy. I think this one, I'm going to bring them closer to the bottom of the card. Put one more right over here. And then this last one, I might put it on the sentiment. Okay. There we go. Lots of pretty Christmas cards. Those beautiful mats to really bring out the pattern from the designer series paper. I love the way that it just makes them look a little bit different, a little bit more personalized. Still making multiples of very similar cards, but it just really adds a special touch to them. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. If it has, please hit that like button. And if you have a friend or relative who may enjoy this video, I hope you'll share it as well. Let's bring in some happy mail. Before I do that though, I want to remind you that we have celebration going on. Not very much longer, less than 2 weeks left in celebration. So if you plan to make a purchase from my online store, be sure to enter my host code and I'll add it to the description of the video. And then remember that in $50 increments, when you spend $50 or $100, you're able to redeem for a free celebration reward. Now, several things from the little brochure have been, the supplies have been depleted, but Stampin' Up! Did release some other options. So there's papers, there's embossing folders, those cute little craft gift boxes. So you can check out in my online store. It'll tell you what is available right now. And then let's take a look at some happy mail. This very first card was a birthday card for Dale, and this came from our amazing friend Judy Cleveland. It is just a really, really pretty card. And I am not one that stamps on the inside a lot. I love that Judy does, but isn't that just beautiful? Gorgeous. Dale was tickled to death. And then he also received a card, and I'll show you. This is just the cutest. One of his former students made him this card. Just put his name on the front, glued on some little embellishments, glued on the definition of a leader, and wrote the sweetest note to him. So these things really do matter, you guys, and we have the ability to make somebody else happy. I love it. Now, this is a picture that she enclosed. I thought that was super sweet. I think most all of these cards are things that Dale received. This one, let me look right quick. This one came from my sweet friend Flor, and it's really cute. Love that. Bright and cheery. And then this is a note that Dale's new principal wrote him. And he found this on his desk the first day of school. And again, just the fact that he took the time to write a note. You know, it's not something typed. Very simple little card, but I thought that was really nice too. And then here is a card. Let me look right quick. This one is from Jan and Ronnie. So Jan did a beautiful job with this birthday card for Dale. So thank you, Jan. He loved it. Super cute layout. And this is some designer series paper that was in the masculine suite from a year or two ago. And then she combined it with this new stamp from He's the Man. So awesome use of those products. I love this. I think I've got at least one more. Yes. Okay, this is a really fun card. And this came from, let me look. Okay, this came from our friend Lisa Tweedle. And again, a combination of different Stampin' Up! Products, but it is a really, really cute card. It says, "To another year around the sun." Isn't that awesome? And look at this fold. This is really, really cute. So thank you, Lisa. Dale enjoyed this as well. Okay, I have a winner from our embellishment from last week, and that is Becky. So congratulations, Becky. You were the winner by random draw. I'll give this little pack of the black matte dots to you. I hope you enjoy your prize. And then this week, I do have a partial package of the gold and silver, or silver and gold. I'm not sure which way that is, but I think it's silver and gold. It's a partial pack of the designer series paper from the celebration brochure. It's got dots and it's got stripes, and it's super fun. So in order to be eligible for a chance to win, all you have to do is leave a comment for me, and next week I'll announce a winner. So gosh, what else do we have going on? We have stamp class this Saturday, the 20th, and if you registered, your packet has already gone in the mail. If you're doing virtual, I have a few people that are coming for the in-person class. Looking forward to that. We're doing butterfly kisses. The projects are really fun. The first couple are pretty simple, and then I've got a really cool gift card holder that we're going to be making. So if you did not register, but you still want to pop into stamp class, head over to CT's Craft and Connect group on Facebook, and you will find the video tutorial there. We'll post it about 9 o'clock on Saturday. Okay, I think that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions, if I can help in any way. I would love to. And we will see you again next week. Thank you.